pound list. Where does he belong on the list, considering the fact that he's skilled, but he's been inactive?
In the lower.
I put him in the lower,
number 12 or something like that. 11, 12. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that I feel deserve more consideration than he does right now. At least not to be number 4.
No. I think I would put Ward before Donaire.
And not only that, but
Sergio Martinez.
He hasn't fought enough. He hasn't. The only fighter we know right now that he's beat is Vic Darchinyan. He hasn't really beaten, anybody tougher than that. I think.
His best win since then has been against maybe Raul Martinez, which doesn't warrant number 4 in the world.
Exactly. But he's certainly a skill fighter, and we'd love to see him in action.
He's definitely skillful. We don't know. Now, going up in weight now, we're going to see what he's made of.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll know. We'll know if number 4 really stands.
Right. And if
pound for pound list.
And if he can't get a fight with, if it doesn't look like the Darchinyan fight is ever going to happen again, if he can't get a fight with Montiel, then maybe he should fight at Becco. I think that would be a very good fight.
Good fight.
Anybody
maybe Yanni Perez
would be a good fight. Or Perez, the guy who
Yanni Perez. Abner Maris. There's a lot of good fighters there for him.
Yeah, Abner Maris.
So that was the first fight on the Showtime card last night, and then we had the main event: Juan Lopez versus Bernabe Copcencion, and that was a fight.
That was unexpected.
Right.
I expected a long fight. I didn't expect it to be this short. I mean, this was like a teaser.
So in the first round, you had 2 knockdowns, each fighter knocking down the other fighter. Juan Mas drawing first blood, getting the first knockdown.
Well, Juan almost scored 2 knockdowns because the ropes held up Copcencion when he got clipped the first time.
Right, that's right. He knocked him back into the ropes. The ropes held them up, and then as he was moving in for the finish, Copcencion
right at the last
Juan Marcilli,
boom, hit him with a left hook.
Right.
And Juan was hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see in his face when he got up, he was
on Queer Street.
He was walking really slow to the corner.
That was the first time he was down, correct?
Yeah, he was hurt in the Montago fight.
Yeah, he was,
but he didn't get dropped. Yeah, that was it was the first time seeing Juan hit the deck like that.
I think he was surprised. You can see
he was surprised
and hurt.
But I think he got he's in Puerto Rico in front of his crowd.
Right.
You saw what happened to Cotto when he fought Chop Chop or when he fought Ricardo Torres. I mean, he was really being cocky and these guys get caught up with the crowd, and I think that's what happened.
You always have to be careful with that. Copcencion is a very hard hitter. I mean, he's dangerous even though he's somewhat limited. He's more Bobby Pacquiao than Manny Pacquiao in those comparisons.
Right.
And when Lopez went to go finish him off at the end of that first round, I could tell Copcencion wasn't that hurt. He knew where he was, and I was watching him saying to myself, you know something, Lopez is going to get caught here. And he did get caught. And you know what? That's just something he needs to work on. I think he's a talented, great, up-and-coming fighter. I don't agree that he's one of the greats from Puerto Rico yet, like Gus Johnson mentioned last night.
Yeah, they're trying to.
He's on his way.
He's getting big in Puerto Rico, I must admit. But he's not. He has Tito on his background.
Yeah, Trinidad there.
He got Trinidad. Trinidad and him are really cool friends. Tito comes to wherever he fights. I mean, when he fought Steve Luevano in MSG, Tito was there. So he's getting that backing, but. As a great fighter, as one of those top guys like Gomez or anything, or Tito, he needs to prove himself.
So
he got really hurt last night. He pulled the win off. He's gotten stronger. Going up in weight. I mean, that life and death fight he had with Rogers Montagua, made him look very.
More with weight than anything.
Yeah, it had to do with weight because if you look at him now, he's just. Copcencion's never been down.
Right.
So never, and he knocked him out.
And that first round, certainly a fight, round of the year.
Oh yeah.
And then the second round, of course, Wama comes out, knocks him down, knocks Copcencion down, and then knocked him out. He didn't knock him cold, but he knocked him silly, and Copcencion was going to get hurt, really hurt. Right. So good win for
it was a statement showing how strong he is, but like I forgot who said it, but he said that Juan is very vulnerable.
I think,
and that's what makes him interesting.
Well,
definitely vulnerable.
Speaking of his vulnerabilities, now he moves on to September 18th versus Rafael Marquez. Quickly, guys, your picks.
You know what? I was going back and forth on this. I actually like Marquez in that one right now.
Nah, too big, too strong. Juanma's just going to be too big, too strong.
I just want to see it. I think it's going to be
I think that Marquez has the experience, has the technicality to give Juanma some fits, but Juanma's showing now that, yeah, you might hurt him, you might even beat him up a little bit, but he's strong, he's got the punch, he's got the physical size to hurt you and to change things.
I was going to say, I agree with Francisco over here. I'm going to pick Juanma just because he's the longer fighter, and I think he's the younger
And also,
fighter.
Marquez has been in those wars with Israel Vasquez. We know that had to take something out of him.
But it should be a competitive fight. It should be a very good fight.
Well, we're hoping it's competitive. We thought this fight last night was going to be competitive, so we don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We
don't know. Okay, and then and that was Saturday night. And Friday night, Showtime also had a card where a young prospect by the name of Antoine Smith was upset by Leonardo Tyner.
Yeah.
Right. It was a very, very good back and forth fight. I think they were saying Smith wasn't 100%, that he was dealing with some illness before, but let's give all credit to Tyner, who took the fight to the younger man and stopped him with a body shot.
And you have to remember, Antoine Smith had that really bad swelling that started growing on his eye around the 7th round. It got considerably worse, and you could tell it was bothering him. When Tyner landed that body shot in the 9th round, Smith doubled over, and then Tyner cracked him right on the eye too. And I think when Smith got hit there, he said, "That's it."
Right. So I think, I think in terms of a fight, it was a good fight. I don't think, we should write Smith off. I think he'll be back. He's got a lot of talent. This is a learning experience.
Well, the thing with Smith is that he's the type of fighter that has to be 100% when he comes into these fights. I mean, he's a guy who's a grinder. He's one of those fighters that just stays consistent in his fights. And if he's off a little bit, since he stays in close with a lot of fighters, what happened to him getting hit with that body shot, what happened? I mean, he wasn't 100% in his shoulder.
Right, and also on that card, Mike Jones took care of Irvin Garcia, pretty quickly. But let's also talk about the on ESPN Friday Night Fights. You had John Molina fighting Hank Lundy.
Hammer and Hank, yeah.
Hammer and Hank,
using Archie Moore. Henry Armstrong's
Hank Armstrong's nickname. But Lundy had control of the fight. He got then he got caught, and that was the end of the fight with him. Right.
You go to you shout out a fighter, you disrespect him, you call him a dumb fighter, you trash talk like hell, and then you're winning the fight. You're showing that you are the better fighter, and then you get cocky, knowing this guy's a puncher. You drop your hands in the 8th round, and then you slip 2 punches. He slips to his, I don't know if it was his right or his left, and he got caught with a right hand that almost swept him off his feet.
Right.
It was crazy.
It was all credit goes to John Molina, who's a consistent fighter. He's not a special fighter, but he has very good power. He knows how to put his punches together. And Hank Lundy, a guy who's very cocky, immensely talented. You know what? It was going to happen sooner or later.
I think differently. I think that Hammer and Hank actually gave Molina that fight. Molina was being totally outclassed. He was not even touching him. And actually, by dropping his hands and doing all that stuff, he put Molina back into that fight.
So, Mike Lundy, Hank Lundy, if you're watching,
change your name.
Change your nickname, please. There's only one Hammer and Hank, and he hasn't fought in a long time.
Exactly.
So.
And to live up to that name, I mean, you're talking about greatness right there. So.
And speaking of hammering, we've got 2 heavyweights in action in the area this coming weekend. We've got David Tua versus Monty Barrett. They're going to fight in Atlantic City. Tua's been training in Jersey. Monty Barrett's been training at Universal Gym in Ozone Park, Queens, with also a friend of the show, Nirmal Lorik.
He's an assistant trainer.
And I understand that Francisco, you went out there and you had a chance to talk with Monty and to see some of his training.
How his training was going and how he was feeling going into this fight.
Okay, and let's run the video so the fans can see what was happening out there.